Love the Ravens as much as we do? Then smash that subscribe button and stay locked in with Flock News for all the drama, updates, and excitement all season long. The Baltimore Ravens have sent shockwaves through the entire NFL landscape with the stunning confirmation that TJ Watt is officially joining their roster. And this news has been spreading like wildfire across every corner of the football world. The energy surrounding this deal feels less like a routine transaction and more like the type of blockbuster move that fans and analysts will remember for years. When a player of Watt's caliber, a relentless pass rusher known for wrecking offensive game plans and dictating the tempo of entire games, makes such a dramatic shift, it immediately changes the balance of power within the conference. The Ravens, already renowned for their physical, aggressive defensive identity, have now added a superstar who embodies those traits to perfection. What makes this even more fascinating is the historical context. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, forever locked in one of the fiercest rivalries in sports, are now connected through the controversial migration of the Steelers' most iconic defensive weapon of recent years. The raw emotions are palpable, with Steelers fans stunned and Ravens fans electrified. Rivalries live on storylines, and this one has just gained a new chapter that is sure to be retold every time these two teams clash. For the Ravens, this isn't just a big signing. It's a signal of intent, a declaration to the rest of the league that they're not merely aiming to compete, but determined to dominate. Baltimore's front office has long been praised for identifying talent, but this move transcends clever scouting or development. This is about bringing in a proven, elite commodity, a defensive leader who can change games on his own. TJ Watt has spent years terrorizing quarterbacks with his explosive first step, tireless motor, and uncanny instincts. And now he'll be wearing purple and black, instantly giving Baltimore one of the most feared front sevens in the NFL. Think about the ripple effect. The Ravens' secondary, already among the best in the league, will now have even more opportunities for turnovers because quarterbacks will be forced to rush their throws under relentless pressure. Offensive coordinators across the AFC are already rethinking how they'll game plan against Baltimore, and one can only imagine the sleepless nights coaches will endure trying to scheme around Watt. This is no longer the same Ravens team that opponents have studied for years. This is a reloaded version with a new weapon capable of redefining their defensive identity. What makes this story even more captivating is the personal element, because TJ Watt was not just another name on the Steelers roster. He was the heart and soul of Pittsburgh's defense, a leader both on and off the field, a player fans connected with deeply. To see him crossing over to Baltimore, the team that has symbolized the Steelers' greatest battles and fiercest grudges, adds an almost cinematic layer to the drama. It's one thing for a star to change teams within the league, but when that star goes to a blood rival, the betrayal feels sharper, the tension higher, the narrative juicier. This is the type of story that will dominate talk shows, podcasts, and locker room chatter for months, maybe even years. Every time Watt lines up against Pittsburgh, every sack, every hit, every stare across the line of scrimmage will carry an added weight, a reminder of loyalty broken and new alliances formed. For the Ravens, it's not just about acquiring talent, but about reshaping the emotional landscape of one of the NFL's most storied rivalries. And for the fans, this is pure drama, football at its most gripping. From a strategic standpoint, the Ravens now possess the type of defensive arsenal that can dictate terms against any offense in the league, even the most high-powered ones. Imagine pairing Watt with the likes of Roquan Smith, creating a devastating combination of pass rush and tackling power that few teams can match. The Ravens' defensive line already had depth and physicality, but adding Watt transforms them from formidable to downright frightening. Quarterbacks won't just face pressure, they'll face chaos, because Watt has a way of disrupting plays before they even unfold, sniffing out misdirection, overwhelming blockers, and collapsing pockets with ruthless efficiency. For years, he has been one of the NFL's premier defensive playmakers, capable of turning games with a single strip sack or a clutch stop. Now, in Baltimore, he joins a system perfectly designed to maximize his strengths, a franchise historically built on defensive greatness. It's the perfect storm, a relentless player meeting a relentless culture, and together they create a defense that could terrorize opponents on a historic scale. This isn't hyperbole. This is the kind of move that shifts entire playoff pictures and forces teams to reevaluate their aspirations. Naturally, the reaction has been explosive. Social media erupted within minutes of the announcement, with memes, debates, and passionate takes flooding timelines everywhere. Ravens fans are celebrating like they've just won the lottery, embracing what is a conquering hero who will elevate their Super Bowl hopes. Meanwhile, Steelers fans are processing a range of emotions, from heartbreak to outrage, with some questioning how the franchise could ever allow such a cornerstone player to land in the arms of their bitterest enemy. Analysts are dissecting every angle: the salary cap gymnastics that made this possible, the leadership impact in the Ravens' locker room, and the inevitable ripple effects across the AFC. And yet, beyond all the noise, the reality remains that Baltimore has just landed a player who can alter the outcome of any given Sunday. For a league built on parity, moments like these stand out because they tilt the scales, giving one team an undeniable advantage. This is the kind of storyline that doesn't just fuel headlines. It fuels entire seasons, turning ordinary games into must-watch events. What to the Ravens isn't just news. It's a cultural moment in football. And then there's the future, the tantalizing question of what comes next. With what in their ranks, the Ravens' aspirations soar beyond division titles or playoff runs. They're thinking Super Bowl, and rightly so. Every contender in the AFC now has to account for Baltimore as a juggernaut, not just offensively with Lamar Jackson, but defensively with a unit that could rival the great defenses of past eras. The implications stretch far and wide. Free agents may be more inclined to join Baltimore. Rookies will benefit from learning alongside what's professionalism, and the coaching staff has more tools than ever to unleash creative schemes. The Ravens' identity has always been one of toughness, resilience, and defensive dominance, and with what, they are writing a new chapter that could define the next decade of their franchise. The excitement isn't limited to Baltimore either, because fans across the NFL know that this move sets the stage for unforgettable matchups, particularly those against Pittsburgh. It's the kind of seismic shift that makes the upcoming season feel bigger, bolder, and far more unpredictable. What in Purple isn't just a transaction. It's a story that has just begun, and its echoes will be heard for years to come. The whispers began even before the official confirmation, murmurs circulating among insiders that something monumental was brewing in Baltimore. At first, the idea seemed impossible, almost laughable. TJ Watt leaving Pittsburgh, the franchise that drafted him, for their most bitter rival? Fans dismissed it as pure fantasy, the type of off-season rumor that stirs emotions but never comes true. Yet, behind the scenes, the Ravens front office was quietly working, maneuvering cap space, negotiating in secrecy, and crafting the kind of bold strategy that could redefine their future. By the time the announcement came, insiders claimed it had been weeks in the making, a chess match of phone calls, contract adjustments, and whispered promises. The fact that this rumor became reality has only amplified the sense of shock, as though the impossible has suddenly become fact. It's the type of twist that football thrives on, because it doesn't just change rosters, it changes narratives, alters rivalries, and ignites passions. And now that it's confirmed, the whispers have transformed into roars, with fans and media alike struggling to fully absorb the gravity of what just happened. Some say this move is more than just business. It feels personal, almost like a message directed at the Steelers themselves. After years of battling, of hard hits and playoff heartbreaks, the Ravens have not only strengthened their own roster, but also dealt a psychological blow to their oldest enemy. Imagine the sting for Pittsburgh fans watching one of their most beloved stars don the uniform of a rival they've been taught to despise. It's more than a transaction. It's a symbolic act, a transfer of loyalty that fuels narratives of betrayal and revenge. The Ravens know this, and perhaps that's part of the allure. Not just acquiring Watt's talent, but also rewriting the script of the rivalry. This is theater as much as it is football, a saga that will now define every meeting between these two franchises for as long as what wears purple. It's no longer just about tackles and touchdowns. It's about pride, identity, and the emotional scars that only a rivalry this deep can create. Every play will now carry an added layer of tension, every stare down a reminder of the history rewritten with one signature. The speculation doesn't stop at rivalries, though, because league-wide the buzz is deafening. Insiders are calling this one of the boldest moves in recent memory, a transaction that signals the Ravens' willingness to push all their chips to the center of the table. Analysts are dissecting the financial intricacies, debating how Baltimore managed to squeeze such a deal under the cap, and whether this is sustainable in the long term. Others are questioning the Steelers' decision-making, how they allowed such a cornerstone to slip through their fingers, and whether pride or mismanagement played a role. Theories abound. Some claim Watt himself pushed for the move, eager for a fresh challenge, while others suggest behind-the-scenes tensions may have accelerated his departure. Whatever the case, the fact remains that Baltimore now holds a golden piece on their chessboard, while Pittsburgh is left with a gaping void. The league thrives on these types of power shifts because they inject new drama into old storylines, and this one is ripe with intrigue. Every angle, every perspective, every hot take only adds fuel to the fire of anticipation. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. And then there's Watt himself, the man at the center of the storm, now navigating a world where every word, every gesture, every move will be scrutinized. How will he handle the transition from beloved Steeler to polarizing Raven? Will he embrace the villain role in Pittsburgh, feeding off the booze and vitriol, or will he try to downplay the rivalry, focusing instead on his new chapter? These questions are already circling, because athletes of Watt's stature don't just play football. They live under a spotlight where narrative is as important as performance. What's undeniable is that Watt brings credibility, work ethic, and leadership wherever he goes, qualities that will instantly command respect in the Ravens' locker room. But outside, among the fans and media, the microscope will be relentless. Every sack against the Steelers, every missed tackle, every public statement will be twisted, analyzed, and debated. In many ways, Watt's move isn't just a career shift. It's the beginning of a new role in the theater of sports, where he must balance performance with perception, dominance with diplomacy. For the Ravens, the hype is only just beginning, because this move reshapes not only their defense, but their entire organization's aura. Baltimore has always prided itself on toughness, on embodying the gritty, hard-nosed identity of its city. With Watt in the fold, they now have a player who amplifies that image tenfold, a walking embodiment of intensity and ferocity. The ripple effects will extend far beyond the field. Ticket sales, merchandise, media coverage, all will surge as the Watt factor electrifies the fan base. Sponsors and broadcasters recognize the value of star power, and Watt's presence ensures that Baltimore will be in the spotlight all season long. But the most important impact will be within the team itself, as younger players draw inspiration from his preparation, his commitment, and his relentless drive to win. This isn't just about sacks and tackles. It's about culture, about the standard a player like Watt sets every single day. The Ravens didn't just acquire a player. They acquired a tone setter, someone capable of elevating an entire franchise's mentality to championship levels. Ultimately, the rumor has become reality, and the NFL is now dealing with the aftermath of one of the most dramatic moves in recent history. Watt's arrival in Baltimore is more than a transaction. It's a storyline, a saga, a shift that will ripple across seasons and define legacies. For the Ravens, it's a triumph, a declaration that they're not just participants but contenders, armed with a weapon capable of tipping the balance of power. For the Steelers, it's a heartbreak, a painful reminder that even icons can be lost, and rivalries can cut deeper than ever imagined. And for the fans, it's pure theater, the kind of drama that keeps football not just a sport but a spectacle. As the whispers turn into debates and the debates into matchups, one truth remains. The NFL has just been given a new story, and it's one nobody will stop talking about anytime soon. The Ravens have confirmed TJ Watt, and in doing so, they've confirmed that this season and this rivalry will never be the same again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.